Hi guys, welcome back to another foundation review, the first of 2020, and we're doing a drugstore foundation. You know how much I love drugstore foundation launches. So this one is from Maybelline. It is their Dream Radiant Liquid. It is said to be a hydrating foundation, and I've really been into more hydrating, natural finish foundations, so this really seems to tick all of the boxes. As always, I will be showing you application, a flash photo test, how it looks at the end of the day, and there are timestamps down below if you'd like to skip ahead, along with links to other things you may be interested in checking out. But let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't seen this foundation yet, it should be popping up soon. It's a pretty new launch, so like any drugstore launch, sometimes certain countries get it first, certain drugstores check like little special displays, etc., before it ends up in like the permanent display. I saw on the Ulta website this is retailing for $12.99, and on Amazon Canada it's retailing for $16.99. It's not on the Shoppers Drug Mart website yet. I forgot to check Walmart. But you're getting a full fluid ounce in here. It comes with 20 shades, which is like never my preference, especially because Maybelline has the Fit Me and the Superstay line, and they're both incredible, great shade ranges. So when they come out with a 20, I'm like, come on, you know, we can do the 30, 40 thing. This is the other naming convention they have. So they have kind of like two. In the one where I'm like 312 or 320, that's one kind of range, which is like, what are those, like toffee and golden. And then this is the range that like they had a mousse foundation out like this years ago, and when it's this range in this naming convention, I'm honey beige. So I find honey beige to be a little bit more neutral than the other foundations I wear from them, so I figured I would swatch it on my hand just to compare, I guess, and you can kind of get a better idea perhaps of your shade. So here on my hand in the middle, I have the Dream Radiant, which is 90 Honey Beige. On top is the Superstay in 320 Honey. And then on the bottom, is it 320 Honey? Let me double check. 320 Honey, yeah. And then on the bottom is 312 Golden. So you can see that these are much kind of more warm. This is more neutral, which is okay with me. I actually have been leaning towards more neutral foundations, but hopefully that'll give you a better idea of what shade you should be. I'm also in between nails right now. I'm going to get my nails done at 12 o'clock today, so either for my midday check-in or end of the day check-in, I will not be nailless. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna go prime this half of my face, and then we will apply the foundation. I have one pump out on my hand. I think generally, and this is not a first impression, I've worn this quite a bit. Generally, I use about 2 pumps, and I am definitely starting to lose all the color I had. I've had a lot of tan in the past few months because I was lucky to spend a lot of time in the sun in 2019. But so far, no sun for 2020, so I'm fading quickly. So as you can see, definitely a more neutral color, but I do like the match. But I would prefer to see like the full 40 shades in the line. I pumped out another pump. It has like kind of a thick consistency, but it's not moussey or heavy. It's just the consistency seems a little bit thick. It claims to have medium coverage as well, and it doesn't have any claims of being long wearing, but it does say it's hydrating for 12 hours. And hyaluronic acid is a great ingredient for hydration, especially if you are oily, because it is very light. It never feels heavy. But if you're an oily person, I mean, the Superstay is a really good one, or the Fit Me Matte Classics, and those both have really good shade ranges. My skin is also not in the best shape right now, which is technically a good time to review a foundation because you can see what kind of coverage it gets. And I'm gonna do another like maybe half pump just on my cheeks. That's where I have my breakouts, but the reason I've been enjoying this is because it gives decent coverage. Sometimes I'll go in and spot conceal. I won't today, but it gives decent coverage and it looks really light and radiant, which like I find, especially when I have breakouts, I don't want to look like I have like a matte cakey mask on my face. So yeah, I think you can see for the shade match, like I said, it is definitely neutral, so it dulls a little bit of that kind of warmth, I guess, that I have in my skin, but it does not dull my skin at all. I definitely have a really nice natural glow, but it's not greasy or like shimmery or anything like that. It is beginning to set a little bit. I'm obviously setting this with a powder, and I'm about combo skin at the moment, but I really love the way that this looks. I think it looks really natural. Like I said, it is glowy. You're getting that sheen Like, I'm always looking for the sheen, not the grease, the glowy, not the greasy. So I love the way that this looks. Feels really light. I didn't notice a scent, but I'm not sensitive to scent, so like, I don't notice scents, I've realized. Over my years of reviewing foundations, apparently I'm not very attuned to scents. But anyways, yeah, it definitely has that kind of lightweight hydrating thing that they're talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some flash photos, put on the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Everything that I'm wearing is on my face will be listed down below in the description box. As always, I think I'm wearing the same lipstick that I was wearing in my last Maybelline foundation review, and I think I was wearing my hair like this. So original. It's the Plum For Me lipstick. I really, really love the Made For All line from Maybelline. But yeah, I think you can see now that I've got some bronzer on my face and stuff, the shade match looks really good. I love the way that this looks on the skin. Like I said, it does have that kind of radiant look. I do, of course, have some highlighter on, but my freckles are still showing through on my nose. Nothing looks or feels heavy. And it definitely, like, I've never tried the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. I would love to try that to see how this compares to it, because I can't compare it at the moment. I can't say, but I will say that this kind of feels like, even if you do have a more combo or an oilier skin type, that it will kind of stick around on your face, because some things that are like radiant and luminous and hydrating, they can be very, very thin and almost feel like if you have oily skin, you're like, this may slip off of my face. But yeah, I think that this looks really, really good. As for flash and just regular photos, I thought it looked really, really beautiful here in my kind of studio lighting. As you can see, it has like a nice sheen to my skin. It looks quite natural, and it kind of just looks like good skin, because my natural skin is showing through there. In the flash photo, however, I think you can definitely see the kind of pinky slash neutralness showing through, and that happens a lot in flash photos because my body is much warmer than my face, and because this foundation is quite neutral. Although I have been wearing more neutral undertone foundations lately, I'm kind of like neutral golden peach, if that makes sense. And I know some of you also have mentioned looking into more neutral foundations, because for a long time I was wearing very, very yellow foundations, but this one is kind of more neutral pink as opposed to neutral peach, if that makes sense. So yeah, overall I do really like the way that this looks, but I will check back with you in a few hours in some natural light to show you how it looks. Hey guys, I am just getting ready to head out the door for my nail appointment. I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours or so, and I'm coming to you in some natural light, so I think you can see that the shade match is quite good. You can see my reflection back there, and there's some drilling in my building, so sorry about that, but things look really good. I don't feel the need to blot. Still feels really, really comfortable. One thing I will say though is I think if you have dry skin, I'm not sure that you're gonna find this as hydrating as perhaps you may want it to be, because I think that's something that gets a little bit not necessarily confusing, but there's lots of like radiant and luminous foundations out there, but they're not necessarily as dewy as people may want them to be if they do have a drier skin. Like for me, this feels hydrating, it feels luminous and looks radiant, but to somebody that has a dry skin, it may not give you enough. But for me, that means it's gonna last a little bit longer on my skin than something that is incredibly dewy, if that makes sense. I think I say "if that makes sense" a lot, and that's maybe something I'm gonna work on for 2020. But anyways, things look good. Nothing has oxidized or anything, so I will check back with you in a few hours at the end of the night. We are here at the end of the day, and I didn't even have time to set up like my lights and stuff behind me. You can see like light bulbs and umbrellas, but I've actually got to race out the door. I totally forgot that I need to leave the house, but things look really good. I think you can see it might have warmed up like ever so slightly. I am going to continue wearing this for a couple more hours. So I think that goes to show that obviously I think things look good. This is just my powder brush that I used earlier today with no extra product on it. So I think that it warmed up a little bit on my face, but it still has that kind of like hydrated, luminous look, but it's not greasy. It's not slipping all over my face. I think it did warm up slightly, like nothing major, and honestly the warmth was kind of appreciated anyways. I think this looks really gorgeous both in person and on camera. I filmed with this several times and gotten compliments every time that I've worn it, and I really do enjoy it. I would love to try now their Dewy and Smooth now that my skin has changed a little bit and kind of compare it to this, but in comparison to some of the other more, I guess, radiant things that I've tried recently, I say that this has a little bit more thickness to it but not in a bad way, in a way that I think will be good for people that have potentially combo skin. I wouldn't necessarily say this is like my best selection for oily skin, but I don't think that it would be, like, there's definitely dewier things out there that I think would be a mess, and this might be something that you need to test out for yourself. As well, if you're looking for something that's going to be like long lasting and have a little bit more luminosity to it, you could always take your Superstay or your matte and poreless that you already love, mix it in with a little bit of moisturizer and like a teensy bit of liquid highlighter, and get a nice look out of that with a little bit more longevity if you're afraid to try something out like this. I definitely appreciate that it has hyaluronic acid in there. I think that that is super cool. The shade range could be a little bit better for sure, but I do like this shade on myself. So yeah, overall I really like this. I have been wearing this quite a bit and I will definitely continue to wear it. I think it's a great new drugstore foundation, and I'm really excited to see that the drugstore's coming out with some like medium coverage, more natural, radiant looking things that aren't like full of glitter. But like I did say earlier, I do feel like if you have a really dry skin, I don't think that this is necessarily like a dewy foundation. It's just kind of more radiant. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!